Next, let's kiki on this interesting story. So trans creator Zaya Perysian is calling out brands for being loud allies 1 minute and missing the next. After suing the administration over the trans passport ban and winning, Zaya says brands suddenly got real quiet. The same companies that loved funding trans creators are now calling her too controversial. Zaya's been creating for over a decade, building community and telling her truth. Now she's saying what everyone's thinking. Brands only support the dolls when it's easy for them. And she's not pretending everything's fine. Watch this.
Ready with me while I tell you how suing the president has low-key ruined my career as a content creator. Oh, I'm also using this video as an opportunity to call out brands and to tell y'all to stop abandoning the dolls over politics. Stop! Anyways, first I'm going in with point of view beauty makeup prep. So yes, I sued the president. If you somehow didn't know, I am transgender. I applied for a passport. The current administration gave me a male passport and I had to sue to get a female passport, which I did. But aside from this, I have been a content creator for 10 years now. 10 years. I'm using the Anua sunscreen today. But yeah, 10 years making videos. And I have a pretty large platform. And over the years, I've worked with a lot of brands. I've done a lot of brand deals. So much so actually that it became my full-time job. My career. I'm using the Tier foundation, by the way. But as you may have noticed, over the past few years, being trans has become quite the controversy. My whole existence is controversial. Great. So under the last administration, the doll was funded. I was working with brands all the time. New brand deals every month, left and right, babe. But then when things started to get controversial, you know, just from me existing, I went from consistent monthly deals to, you know, like a deal every other month or every couple of months. Brands started to be too scared to work with trans people. And I know several other trans creators who experienced this and who are still experiencing this today. But for me, where it really got scary is when I sued the president. When I dared to break the fourth wall and stand up for myself and my community. This lawsuit has caused me to be labeled as too controversial, too political, and too brand unfriendly. This shimmer is the glitter puck from Half Magic Beauty, by the way. So now, not only am I an openly trans woman on the internet, I'm an openly trans woman political activist on the internet. So now I'm seen as brand unfriendly because I'm trans and I defend myself and I fight for the rights of other people like me. And ever since I've sued the president last year in February, I have gotten one major brand deal. We are now in the era where brands only want to work with the dolls if you're white, if you're a Nepo baby, if you're both of those things combined, or if you're just a trans person who doesn't talk politics. And I don't want to hear any of the just get a real job. The rest of us do it. I've been content creating for 10 years. We live in a day and age where this is a real job. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm completely valid in feeling this way and noticing the shift. It is hard enough being openly trans on the internet, but the brands aren't making it any easier by refusing to work with us. It's scary times that we're living through. Stop being afraid of the dolls. I hope this offered some perspective, and yeah, thanks for watching.
Stop abandoning the dolls. What are we all talking about? You follow Zaya, don't you?
I do.
I started following after I saw
this. She actually has been coming up on my little TikTok feed for a few years, you know. Because most of my TikTok is witchcraft, the dolls.
And dogs.
And dogs.
That's his feed. So, you know, but she ain't lying. She ain't saying nothing that we don't know as true. You know,
we already know this is as true. Maybe her experience is just coming into this. Once you become an activist, once you really start becoming an activist, corporation is going to back down, of course, because corporations in the pockets of a lot of lobbyists and a lot of the government. So, I mean, what she's saying is true, but also it's the reality. Welcome to the world, girl.
Yeah, no, yeah, there's not much that you can do, you know? I mean, like, I'm hoping that you've got a substantial amount of followers that you can continue to try to find more brands, right? It's not easy by no means, and it's going to get even harder, which it sucks, you know what I mean?
Or become a creator of your own product and sell to your following, you know, become your own product and don't rely on these brands because This, I mean, we've been talking about this forever. How the Deltas and the American Express, they'll come out all LGBTQ for Pride Month because the dollars rack in, and then all of a sudden here comes July and girl, rip that shit down.
LGB who?
LGB who? Throw that shit in the back of the closet. We'll come back around when this comes back. Next June we'll see you girls.
Yeah.
But I mean, all I can say is this is
life, and it's gonna get worse, and it sucks because our dolls are siblings, right? It's not easy to get a job when your documentation doesn't match, right?
Or go anywhere.
Or fly anywhere or go anywhere. You're limited to what you can do as a trans person if your documentation doesn't match. You know what I mean? They don't make things easy for you.
Right.
So as a content creator, Zaya has had a streamline of way to support herself, to pay her bills, to make sure that her people and her dogs and everybody's okay around her, and they're taking that money. The fact that she had a couple of brands a month and now she's getting
one a year.
Like that's not substantial. She can't live on that anymore.
No.
But that's the country we live in. You go after the president, that's what's gonna happen.
And I'm here for her going after the president, suing the administration, and winning to get her, because that's a very large feat. I know a lot of girls, guys, we forget trans men who have gotten their passports, and it's either an X or the wrong gender. So congratulations for her on that. That's a huge feat. But now my advice to her would be, girl, we got to get inside the kitchen and start working on some other business ventures. You got to get creative in business. When one door shuts, we got to open another one. We got to get in there, stir the pot, see what else we're cooking with, what other seasonings. There's a million ways you can move.
There's other wells.
There's other wells. You just gotta, this one closed, all right, let's go to this one, and there are brands that will work with you. There are local brands. You just have to start expanding a little bit, because everything isn't in a vacuum when it comes down to that. From business, you gotta
maneuver, and also a lot of these nonprofits are also noticing that certain sponsors, like Jay was saying, right, that used to be there for you are not anymore. So you've got to go looking for someone new or a new way to bring in money. Maybe you're selling something else. Maybe you're doing, selling tickets to something, whatever it is, you know what I mean? You've got to reinvent.
You just
have to. That's it.
Yeah.
And girl, you did it once. The reality is that there are millions of people that would never generate the funds that you did, and you did it.
Yeah.
So you could do it again.
Yeah. Over and over and over again in many different ways.
Yep.
And you're talking two people who own businesses, like many different ways. You just have to recreate and find other avenues. But her feelings and her points are totally valid, because we know. We know. We live it.
This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The Faye What Show.